I'm the founder of Moya Power, and I'm researching and developing an alternative wind energy harvester. But I understand that when we say energy harvesting, the first thing you may visualize are these large-scale solutions spanning across these open fields. But this is not the space that I'm looking into. What I'm really aiming to do is to bring our energy solutions closer to home. So really to harvest it right from where we use it and where we need it. So therefore we need to look at the city environment. And the city is fragmented, and because of this, the sources of energy are very different. So for example, big gusts of wind that enter the city immediately get slowed down and broken up by all the obstacles. And this makes it very challenging to capture it from a single space. Then in terms of space, especially if you consider a city like London, space is limited, and anything that's remotely open and free is really regarded as prime real estate. So what I choose to do is really try to understand this environment. It's outlined by many limitations and challenges, but even within this, there are a lot of opportunities for innovation to be creative and adapt to our environment. So I've been motivated by these limitations, and through this, I've actually developed what can be regarded as a building textile. It is a lightweight, flexible sheeting material that scavenges off wind energy. So it has a kind of resemblance to something like grass, with thousands of freestanding filaments that are embedded with a piezoelectric film. So you can take this textile and apply it to a surface, and then when the wind hits it, it creates this fluttering effect that directly generates electricity. So the adaptability of a textile and the fact that it is also able to scavenge off the most abundant but low-grade forms of wind energy means that I can start to look at the most obscure and hard-to-reach environments where we can really transform wasted space into energy-generating hubs. So a good example of this, where I've been lucky enough to look into while working together with London's Crossrail, is the underground train station. We've all stood on the platform waiting for our train and felt those big gusts of wind when the train comes by. Now I'm looking at how we could take a textile, apply it to the tunnel along the stopping distance of the train, and then absorb this wasted wind energy every time the train passes by. So this is a very scalable opportunity. Even looking at London alone, there are 270 underground train tunnels, and there's this repetitive wind pattern that happens every couple of minutes during the day, and now even at night on some lines that run 24 hours. So this is a really exciting opportunity to look again at a completely wasted space. It's really hard to get into, but has potential. So looking into the greater urban environment, because a textile is light and flexible, you can potentially line the underneath of a bridge and have an energy scavenger that's completely out of sight. Or we could actually try and overcome aesthetic barriers and create these dynamic facades. As this textile is also semi-transparent, you could also apply it directly to the surface of glass buildings. Or what I find really exciting is the potential to give it to our architects as an integral building block, for them to incorporate it at the beginning of their designs, where they can change the shape and form of a building to manipulate airflow and really target certain locations where you can apply an energy harvester. So we all understand that we need to transition towards a carbon neutral city, and for me that really means that we need to be creative and we need to adapt to the environment we're in. There are a lot of exciting things that we can do. So with the potential of a textile, for example, like what I'm trying to develop, we can look at these wasted spaces and scavenge off energy to perhaps power more journeys or satisfy local energy needs through micro-generators. So thank you so much for having me here today, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Fascinating. Oh, creative thinking, wonderful. Just interested, I love the vision. I love the concept. Have you actually applied it anywhere yet?
Yes, so I've been able to do a case study in the new Elizabeth line. So again, looking at the underground stations.
Right, right.
But still research and development, but it's starting.
Right, and what are the things that are giving you the biggest scratching of the head headaches at the moment?
It's a complex system, you know, it's really to define what part of the challenge that I want to attack, because, you know, you have the actual mechanism from the fluid dynamics and the fluid mechanics to create this mechanism to transform wind into electricity. Then you have to transform it and ultimately store it. But one has to understand which part of the problem you're trying to solve, and then you can make progress.
Okay. And there we are, we're talking about visions for 2037. When do you think the first time I should be sitting on a tube train going through London thinking, I am contributing to electricity generation in Burger King above ground simply by sitting there and going at high speed through my tube train?
Oh, well, that is my dream. Hopefully it will happen sooner rather than later, but there's first applications that can happen. You know, I have a big vision, but there's ways to scale it up before it's covering the whole tube.
As a sort of textile, could I have it on my clothes because I'm a fast walker?
If you really want, you can make that
10,000 steps a day, man, myself. Could I generate?
Possibly.
I was going to say, could I generate wind? But
it wouldn't be much.
Phase 2, probably not.
Well, it wouldn't be a lot of energy, but it would be quite exciting. So we could do that for fun.
Right. So the whole area of textiles is quite because we are able to, you know, have solar.
Yes.
Things and things, so there's just creative thinking.
Yeah.
So, well, we wish you well. Maybe this is the world where we need to dare to think radical, interesting ideas, particularly, as you say, in the dumb, wasted spaces of life. So thank you very much indeed for introducing that technology.